And right now we're ready for the playing of the American and Canadian national anthems, and to sing those national anthems, the Nylons.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the Oh, Canada, our home and native land, to brave in love, in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Canada.
The Nylons and their rendition of the Canadian and American national anthems, and the referee for tonight's game is 33-year-old Sarnia, Ontario native Kerry Fraser, working with linesmen Swede Knox and Kevin Collins. And in goal, the Blackhawks will come back with Murray Bannerman, who yielded 7 goals before being pulled after 2 periods in game 1. And Grant Fuhr, who has played all but 5 minutes in the Oilers' defense of the Stanley Cup, will again be in goal for Edmonton. From the face-off, it's dumped into the Edmonton zone. Lee Fogelin, who has more playoff experience than any other Oiler, is back there to feed it ahead to Kevin Lowe. To Glenn Anderson. Anderson shoots it in. Bannerman had a few problems with it. He juggled it a little before holding it for the face-off.
Well, one thing that's been positive about the Chicago Blackhawks is the attitude of Bob Pulford, their head coach, general manager. They watched the game films of game number 1. About halfway through, he said, that's enough. We've seen enough. Let's get out of here. Let's start thinking positive. Before the game, he was very quiet. There you can see the pressure on his face. He was with the Maple Leafs. He won 4 Stanley Cups for the Leafs in the 60s. He knows what it takes, and he's trying to employ that with his club tonight.
Al Secord is an individual the Blackhawks are counting on in this game tonight to provide some offensive punch. Secord is out there with Larmer and Savard. The puck shot in by Larmer. He attempted to catch up with it, couldn't quite reach it. Anderson with Messier. Anderson had it poked away from him, and back comes O'Callaghan for Chicago. For Larmer, he's with Secord, but Secord went offside.
Well, all eyes will be on Doug Wilson. He's taking a regular shift, and again, You know, with the 1-4 system that the Chicago Blackhawks will be using, with one-man forechecking everybody else back, it's so very important for Doug Wilson and the rest of the defense to make sure that they challenge the Oilers right at center ice or between center ice and their own blue line, because that's where the flow starts, that's where the line rush takes place.
This is a matchup that Fulford was attempting to get. Troy Murray against Gretzky, and from that face-off, a drive by Bill Gardner that pure kick to the corner. Back comes Charlie Huddy. He and Paul Coffey have 29 scoring points in the playoffs. A shot knocked down in front of the net by DuPont. Dug out by Curry for Gretzky. Back to Curry. He couldn't get a shot away, and it's poked down the ice. Troy Murray racing after it. Murray having problems with Huddy. Huddy got back to steal it away.
You know, you see that a lot with Charlie Huddy. He doesn't get enough credit for it. He always is able to recover, mainly because of his skating ability. He's a very, very quick, powerful skater.
O'Callaghan picks it off at the line, and a rising drive off the glass, caroming all the way back to the neutral zone. We've played a minute and a half in this first period. It's still scoreless here at Northlands Coliseum. The Oilers winners of Game 1 by a score of 11-2. Gary Curry for Hunter. Hunter dumping it in behind the net. Paul Coffey is there. He was unable to center it. And going back after it is Bergevin. Bergevin attempted to play it around in the boards. It was knocked down by Gretzky. It bounces loose in front of the net again, and Troy Murray dumps it out to the neutral zone. Here's Gretzky coming in for Hunter with a shot just wide.
There's another example of how Gretzky can hide. He was the last man coming back, and he just waited at the blue line, took that perfect pass.
Yarenchuk has it poked away by Randy Gregg. It goes loose in the center ice area, picked up now by Tom Lysiak. A shot along the ice steered to the boards by Grant Pure. Yarenchuk trying to poke it free for Sutter. Picked up by Melnick. He lost it, a backhand shot, and Pure got a piece of that one. The Blackhawks much more aggressive so far in this first period than they were in Game 1. A drive by Hunter, and it's under the pads of Bannerman. Little shoving going on at the side of the Chicago Blackhawk net, but nothing serious is going to develop. Stanley Cup 85 on CBC is coming to you from Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton.
You know, fellas, we've talked about that 1-4 system so far in the first period. Lysiak's line didn't do it that much. They were much more aggressive. They had all three forwards in there.
Hozar trying to slip it in front for Pat Hughes. He couldn't get a shot away. Krushelnyski fighting in the corner, controlling that puck, trying to get it out front, slides it to the side of the net, and he's knocked off the puck, and back come the Blackhawks. Ludwig drives it in. Fraser was unable to pick it up off the boards. They battle for it in the center ice area. Three Oilers in there to bump along the boards with Fraser. The puck goes loose, and it's dumped in by the Blackhawks. Lee Fogelin back into his own zone. He dodges the check from Fraser, and the pass from the left wing brings Hozar out of his own zone. In front, Krushelnyski with a quick shot, and Bannerman reacted to that one. Krushelnyski back to Hughes, to the line for Coffey, to the other side for Huddy. He was unable to get a shot away. He dumps it back at the net, and Jerome DuPont takes over for Chicago. 16:24 is the time remaining in period 1. Dennis Savard was tied up by Charlie Huddy. His weak shot is brought out by Paul Coffey. Dumped in by Messier in the corner, picked up by O'Callaghan. Up along the boards, and it's cleared to center ice.
Well, you saw that last rush of Coffey. By the time he got over center ice, four Blackhawks were over top of that blue line, so Coffey simply had to shoot the puck in. It's exactly what the Blackhawks want.
Again, Coffey wheels out of his own zone. He has Anderson with him. Slides it over to Anderson. Coffey falls. Anderson got it out front, but Napier couldn't get a shot away. Anderson gets it again. He tried to set up Messier. It's intercepted. Back come the Hawks. 3-on-1. For Larmer. He takes a shot, and coming back was Charlie Huddy to make the save. What a move by Charlie Huddy as he got into the net to make the stick save with Fuhr out of position, and we've got a penalty coming up. Live on CBC, this is Hockey Night in Canada.
It's been quite a season, eh, guys? Now, we've got a few awards to give out, but first, we better thank Esso. Pretty good-looking awards, aren't they? Now, the most sportsmanlike player medal goes to Billy Matthews.
When we see the look on their faces, we know why we do it. It's teaming up with you that makes us better, too.
You make us better, you do. Esso.
Al Secord gets the hooking call, and you know, you talk about good scoring chances that you have to capitalize. A 3-on-1 for the Blackhawks, and look at that save by Huddy as he digs it right out of the goal crease. And then as the Oilers are moving out of their own end, that's where Secord draws the hooking call. Oilers on the power play. There you see the hook on Anderson.
Now back to the live action with the Oilers enjoying a man advantage. Secord off. Krushelnyski drops it back into his own zone. Brought out slowly by Randy Gregg for Gretzky. Gretzky trying to set something up on the right side. Broken up at the line. Back to Gregg. He winds up the save. Loose puck at the side of the net. And finally the Blackhawks dump it to the boards, but not out. Well, it did slide out. Brought in offside by Randy Gregg. It was just fractionally over the line.
Well, Glenn Sather must have known something this morning, John, because he was practicing his line, shooting the puck in his own end or in the opposition end and going in after, doing the job of forechecking. So I'm sure he watched the same tapes, knew that the Blackhawks were backing in, they were allowed to carry it, and that Pulford would make adjustments.
Well, I think he's certainly seen a lot more intensity with the Blackhawks, and Glenn Sather and their coaching staff expected it simply because the Blackhawks have been much maligned the last few days in every facet of the press there is. Television, radio, in the newspapers. The Hawks were very, very upset with the fact that they're embarrassed more than anything, and they've been feisty. Ben Wilson was actually knocking people around in front of the net on that last flurry.
1:18, the time remaining in the penalty to Secord. That puck took an unusual bounce off the boards, and Murray Bannerman had to be sharp. Gretzky controlling it. He's looking for Curry. Curry's always in position to one-time it. Over to Lowe to Curry. He takes a swipe at it. It's held by Bannerman. Now with the Stanley Cup update, here's Chris Cuthbert.
The Nordiques are on the scoreboard at the Colisée in Quebec City with a power play goal and a somewhat controversial one. Watch the glove pass in front to Alain Lemieux. His shot is stopped, but J.F. Sauvé with the rebound, and it's now 3-1 Philadelphia.
One there, when Wilson's out there killing a penalty, all the Oilers know that he's struggling with that groin injury. I think they're going to work a lot of plays around him, see how healthy he is.
58 seconds remaining in the penalty. Huddy with a shot. It went off a leg. The puck goes to the corner, and it's cleared down the ice.
I'm not all that sure I would use Wilson killing penalties that much. I might try and save him for the point on the power play in case he does get re-injured.
Look at this man, Coffey across the line. It's dropped back to Huddy, to the other side to Messier. He was unable to control it. Anderson takes the bump in the corner. Patterson cut in front of his own net, but he was able to clear it. Coffey fires it in. He didn't wait long enough. Two Oilers were offside.
Actually, what happened there, when Coffey shot the puck in, Bob Murray was holding up Glenn Anderson, and he held Anderson inside that blue line, and that's why the offside was created. But Chicago during game one did not do any of those types of plays. You can see already in this period that the Hawks are a lot more mentally aware of what's going on during the hockey game.
Well, you know, the Blackhawk players are talking about that. They said, you know, we were in awe of the Edmonton Oilers. We were watching them skate. We were watching them pass, shoot, and score goals. So I think that our pride is going to carry us a long way tonight. We're going to do the things that we do best, and they're giving an example of it so far.
25 seconds remaining in the penalty to Secord. 13:48 is the time left in period one. This is the second game of the Campbell Conference Final. The Oilers leading 1-0. Messier across.
Well, something that the Edmonton Oilers really work on is execution, puck control, making that puck do the work. You know, they don't give it away, always looking for that open man. And you saw Anderson getting into the open, and he was in a perfect position. As soon as it hit its stick, it's gonzo. Look at that puck go right in the net. Bannerman has no chance on that one.
You know what happened there, Gary? Basically, the Edmonton Oilers stayed wide on the play. Anderson stayed wide, got the puck because the Hawks all went towards the middle of the ice, including Gardner, and they weren't aware of who was wide. They took advantage of it again.
Messier and Coffey drawing assists. Murray with the shot, he scores! Bob Murray with a blast from just inside the blue line, and it's tied at 1.
Look at the enthusiasm on the Chicago bench. And you know what's very important for a team when you get a goal scored against you?
Oh boy.
Let's have a solid shift and really come back. But what it was a lot of good, solid forechecking in there by the Blackhawks. And look at Murray unload that one, and Fuhr got a piece of it.
Let's watch the collision with the goaltender in front of the net. Right there, Hunter had already taken out Grant Fuhr, and he couldn't recover, and he got back. And you're right, Gary, went off his goal stick. That's how quick Grant Fuhr is. He almost recovered to make the save. Murray did the right thing, didn't hold on to it, got rid of it quickly.
On the right side for Willie Lindstrom. On Sunday, he celebrated his 34th birthday. He's the oldest player on this Edmonton Oilers team. McClellan in the corner, taken in against the board. Lysiak and Yaremchuk assisting on the goal by Murray. It came just 13 seconds after Anderson had put Edmonton in front. Tonight's game on CBC is coming to you from Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton.
I will now predict the exact moment in time when every single one of you will enjoy the best tasting Coca-Cola ever. It will be the very moment that you pick up this can, because inside this can is the new taste of Coca-Cola. The best tasting Coca-Cola ever. You will taste the new taste immediately, and you will like it a lot. Now, if you're a Coke drinker, wait till you taste this one. If you're a Pepsi drinker, well, I predict we're going to be real friendly from here on in for a long, long time.
13:03, the time left in period 1. The score tied at 1. Two quick goals, Anderson and Murray, just 13 seconds apart. Along the boards, Yaremchuk, who has figured in all 3 goals that the Blackhawks have scored in this series, much to the delight of his family who reside here in Edmonton. Now he starts out ahead to Sutter. Sutter behind his back for Lysiak. Lysiak, also an Alberta product, working to the corner. He's spun around, and it's dumped out into the neutral zone. Referee Kerry Fraser got tangled up there with the puck, and Willie Lindstrom along the boards, and finally they force a face-off.
You know, it's amazing what a leader can do for your hockey club, and Doug Wilson is just that. And just having him in the lineup has given the Hawks a lot. And then we have Bob Murray, of course. See how he didn't stop that puck? He knew Fuhr was in trouble, so he just quickly shot it. And he got a lot of mustard, as they say in hockey, on that shot, and it caught the corner of the net quickly.
John, there's another reason that coaches always talk about, hey, we got to watch the points, especially the guys that can shoot it. A Wilson, a Murray, both excellent shots. Have to pay close attention to those two guys.
You know, you talk about Bob Murray. We rode out to the rink with Murray today, and he's suffering from the flu under normal circumstances. I don't think Murray would be in the lineup, but this is a playoff game, and the penalty is coming up against the Edmonton Oilers. So the Blackhawks will have a power play with Larry Melnikov. Stanley Cup 85 on CBC returns in a moment.
We've improved the new 85.5 Ford Escort in 30 different areas. We've improved it in the area of performance with quicker acceleration, in the area of fuel economy, making Escort one of the most fuel-efficient cars in Canada. We've improved it in just about every other area, too. Impressive for a car already the bestseller in this area. Now you can lease the 85.5 Ford Escort for as low as $145 a month. Have you driven the best-built North American cars? Have you driven a Ford lately?
Now, Larry Melnick has been a solid performer defensively for the Edmonton Oilers. He's taken the job away from Don Jackson. Here he gets beat on the play and has to apply the hook. Hawks have a first opportunity on their power play.
Doug Wilson with a blast just wide from the point. Murray at the other side. Cross ice for Wilson. Wilson slides it in front, and attempting to deflect it was Al Secord. Now it's brought out by the Oilers, led by Messier. He got to the line and then dumped it back to Charlie Huddy.
John, the Oilers do have 5 shorthanded goals in the playoffs, and they got 1 in game 1 of this series as Curry scored a shorthanded goal. One thing about Edmonton, when they kill penalties, it makes the other team's power play very nervous.
Bob Murray back in his own zone, over for Doug Wilson. Wilson rink wide for Larmer. Larmer lost it at the line, and it's dumped down the ice by Mark Messier. 1:08 the time remaining in the penalty to Larry Melnick as the Blackhawks Larmer feeds it on the right side for Wilson. Wilson back to the line. A blast by O'Callahan, and Fuhr out of his net. A screen shot that he knocked down. Bringing it back is Gretzky. Gretzky shoots. He fires it wide. He hung on to that puck until the last possible moment and just missed the far corner. Now Ben Wilson and Coffey in a bit of a mix-up at the blue line as the play is whistled down with 41 seconds remaining in the penalty to Melnick.
Good goaltending at both ends here early in this hockey game. Watch the scramble in front. Grant Fuhr down to his butterfly to make the save. We'll see him go down. There's vintage Grant Fuhr.
It's right up against the guy trying to apply the deflection.
Right. Now, at the other end of the ice, Ben Wilson had been trapped here because he tried to make a play. Nobody filled in for him. Watch Gretzky take advantage of the collision and actually ban him. And even though he didn't have to make the save there, he was out far enough to force Gretzky to shoot it wide.
You notice the Oilers using some crisscrossing patterns to kind of confuse the defense of the Chicago Blackhawks, and it paid off with Gretzky getting a good shot on net.
Jack O'Callahan and Ben Wilson. Jack O'Callahan, I should say, and Paul Coffey going off for penalties at the 8:57 mark. Wilson in the aftermath, I guess, of that incident as he and Coffey were exchanging words at the blue line, but it is Coffey and O'Callahan who have gone off. And 41 seconds still remain in the penalty to Larry Melnick.
You know, again, on the Chicago Blackhawks, when they get over the red line, they're going to fire that puck around the boards and then flood the opposite side to try to do some good forechecking and come up with that loose puck. We'll watch for that.
Troy Murray feeds it to the corner. Back out front, Lysiak with a quick shot. It went off a body. Out front again, and Troy Murray couldn't get a shot away. Bob Murray thought he had kept it in at the line, but it was offside.
Not much of an argument, says Kevin Collins. The linesman was right on top of that play. Now, when that puck was shot in by the Hawks last time, Kevin Lowe got control of it. One forward for the Hawks went right to the boards on one side. Another one of the forwards went to the boards on the other side. Kevin Lowe tried to fire it around the boards. They intercepted and got 2 scoring chances out of it.
Brought in by Lysiak. His pass intercepted by Curry, who dumps it down the ice. 20 seconds remaining in the penalty to Larry Melnick. Doug Wilson chased by Gretzky back into his own zone. He drops it off for Bob Murray. He plays it up around the boards to the captain, Sutter. Darryl Sutter's attempted pass deflected off the stick and is dropped back into the Chicago zone as the penalty to Larry Melnick has expired. Doug Wilson now, rink wide for Larmer. Larmer on the fly, hits Secord. Secord with a shot deflecting into the crowd.
Well, if the Chicago Blackhawks are going to be successful and get back in this series, a guy like Al Secord, his centerman Savard, and also Steve Larmer on the right side, this is a line that has carried them throughout the year. They all have the ability to score, move that puck around. And against the Edmonton Oilers, this is where the offense is going to come from, that scoring punch.
You could also see a little bit of gelling between Doug Wilson and Secord, as Secord parked himself in front of the net on that one power play, and Wilson hit him and was almost deflected in. But give the Oilers credit, good penalty killing as they killed that last one off.
Aggressive penalty killing. They went right after the Blackhawks.
Randy Gregg takes it back of his own net. We're approaching the midpoint of period 1 with the score tied at 1 here at Northlands Coliseum. Secord brings it in. He was trying to hit Jeff Larmer, cutting in on the right side. Intercepted by the Oilers. Brought out, and Anderson dumps it into the Chicago zone. Ben Wilson playing it around on the board. Puck comes to the line and is poked out into the neutral zone.
Again, Don, you can see the matchup Savard against Messier. Kind of a mismatch in size there, but that's what it appears both teams want as far as matchups go in this game.
Loose puck picked up by Jerome Dupont.
You know, the Blackhawks have broken up 6 or 7 plays already at their own blue line with those defense standing up.
Napier in across the line. He's taken in against the boards, and Savard comes out with the puck for Chicago. Savard fakes the shot. Between his legs for Murray, a long drive, and for a moment it looked as though it skipped and almost fooled Pure. Live on CBC, Stanley Cup 85.
Now when that thirst starts, it's gonna take a view with miles and miles apart. And the beer you want is waiting for you. A light tasting brew, yeah. Taste that says hop from the start. Molson Light has got heart.
Heart! This one's got it!
The face-off to the left of Grant Pure. 9:06 remaining in this first period. Krushelnyski against Lysiak. Lysiak got the draw to Yaremchuk. His shot goes high to the corner. And it's dumped out to center ice. The Blackhawks Sutter shoots it in. Kevin Lowe up along the boards for Pozar. He clears it. The Blackhawks gain possession again and dump it back in. A long shot that Pure is forced to handle. Pozar will try it again. This time he succeeds in getting it out into the center ice area. To Hughes, to Krushelnyski. Krushelnyski is taken in against the boards. The puck goes to the other corner. Fogelin is pinched in from the point. He pokes it free behind the net. Krushelnyski trying to get it out as they jam away at it back of that Chicago goal. Finally, it's picked up by Krushelnyski. He slides it out front, and Bannerman dives way out of his net to hold it for a face-off. Hockey Night in Canada and the Stanley Cup playoffs. The tradition continues.
Light taste it says hot from the start. Molson Light has got heart.
Heart! This one's got it!
8:16 the time left in the first period. Blackhawks have outshot the Oilers 6-4 so far, playing a much more aggressive game tonight than in Game 1.
See Troy Murray out now against Gretzky. I know Chicago wanted that matchup. Glenn Sather will see how things go and then make changes if he has to as the game progresses. But Murray drives other people nuts. Yuri Curry almost took a two-hander at him during one of the earlier shifts of this period. He's one of those guys, as far as Edmonton's concerned, you can't let him get underneath your skin.
Troy Murray is another of the many Albertans on the roster of the Chicago Blackhawks. His parents live in St. Albert, and he spends time during the summer months in St. Albert. Racing into the corner is Gardner. He pokes it free. Here's a shot right on by Olczyk. And Pure made the save. It comes back to the point. Murray keeps it in.
This is the best line for Chicago to apply forechecking, and they're giving a good demonstration of it right here.
Olczyk dumps it back to the net. Coffey for Edmonton, starting now out of his own zone. On the right side for Curry, it drives right on. Bannerman makes the save with Semenko looking for the rebound. And now there's a mix-up back of the net.
Well, I'm not sure which one of the Hawks it was, but he took Coffey right into the boards to follow up the play. Looks like O'Callaghan. Coffey came back at O'Callaghan and knocked him off balance, but Chicago making sure they're taking people right out of the play.
Now with a Stanley Cup update, here's Chris Cuthbert.
In Quebec City, the Flyers have restored their 3-goal lead on Joe Patterson's first goal of the playoffs as he moves in and beats Mario Gosselin on the backhand. It's 4-1 midway through the third.
Patterson and Craven, not a bad deal. Those youngsters are playing pretty well in that Sittler trade.
John, you made a good point about taking the man out, finishing the check. You know, that's what coaches talk about all the time. You got to take the guy in the corner, pin him there, not let him get back in the play.
Well, Gary, a lot of that had to do with the forwards coming deep with those Edmonton wingers, but when that happens, it also leaves those Edmonton point men, those defensemen wide open. And you can bet that Edmonton's going to start picking up on that and start using their defensemen for shots.
7:39 remaining in period 1. Gardner against Gretzky. Gretzky chases it to the board. Out front to Curry.
Well, that's vintage Gretzky-Curry. You know, they're so familiar with each other, and Curry has a way of everybody. You notice everybody is attracted to the puck carrier. You know, who watches the slot? Because he's watching Gretzky.
You know, from the faceoff, actually Gardner took the faceoff because Murray got thrown out. And that was the big play, I think, on that goal. And then Gretzky, of course, you're right, took advantage of it. Semenko causing traffic in front. But as soon as you saw Troy Murray get thrown out, Gardner had to take it. That made it tough.
And is there anybody who won times it better than the other two? Curry's ninth of the playoffs from Gretzky at 12:26 as the Oilers now have a 2-1 lead. Gardner across the line looking for Troy Murray. It slides through the corner, and it's brought out by Gretzky. He has Semenko and Curry with him as Semenko now goes to the bench. Hunter comes out there, takes the pass, the shot goes wide. Gretzky into the slot for Hunter, over for Curry. Curry with the shot. Bannerman out of the net for the save. Hunter trying to get into position. Takes the shot, save Bannerman, and he hangs on.
And look at Doug Wilson, how slow he's getting up right in front of Murray Bannerman. He's in a lot of pain. He's trying to skate it off. He has that groin, that upper thigh pull, all taped up. He skated warm-up, and that's when they made their decision. But they were going to see how Doug Wilson went early in the game. Watch how Curry positions himself so well in this goal. Gretzky has everybody chasing him. Now, when the pass goes in front, watch Semenko right in front of the goaltender. There you can see the pick, and that's why Curry got the puck and had the open side to put it in.
You know, what's very important in the game is that you don't watch the puck. You look at the man, and you notice how Hunter took advantage of that with Murray being attracted to that puck, and so consequently Hunter had a good shot on net.
Messier trying to center it. It hit a skate and is picked up by Patterson with 6:37 remaining in the first period. 2-1, the Oilers in front. Melnick, a shot from the point. It's knocked down and brought out by Wilson. His pass on the right side is too far for Fraser. It slides back into Chicago territory. And Randy Gregg feeds it on the right side for Glenn Anderson. For Messier. Messier, a shot. Just misses the far corner. Melnick winds up with a drive. Knocked down. Messier gets it. They bang away at it. The puck is loose. And finally it's flubbed out to the line. Gregg with a shot. And the net is off its mooring.
Unbelievable the way Murray Bannerman reached back with his arm and took a sure goal away from the Oilers. Oilers are starting to roll in this first period.
Nice lawn tractor, isn't it? Of course, my neighbor said to get a John Deere. They're built to last. They've got heavy-duty frames, heavy-duty engines, heavy-duty transmissions. But hey, I saved a bundle on this baby, and after all, that's the bottom line, huh? Not to worry. Once it starts, it runs like a...
Nothing runs like a deer.
Down-to-earth values spring celebration on now at participating John Deere dealers.
6:03 is the time left in the first period. The face-off to the left of Murray Bannerman. The Oilers came very close to making it a 3-1 game. Messier had a great opportunity with Bannerman down. Now O'Callahan working out of his own zone for Dennis Savard. Savard crosses the line, looking for someone to pass to. Still has it. Drops it for Doug Wilson. A shot, a high drive, and knocked down by Grant Fuhr. Fuhr turned his set sprawling by Steve Weimer. Good check in the center ice area as Anderson is hit by O'Callahan. And then Larner dodges the check from Melnick.
Well, there's been more checking and hitting in this hockey game already than there was in game one all told. It's kind of fun to watch. Both teams playing with a lot of intensity, and this could really heat up.
Dennis Savard racing in against Grant Fuhr. It's played along the boards for Messier. He's having problems getting out against Secord. He goes to the other side.
And twice in the last minute or so, they've gone at Grant Fuhr. They've knocked him over once, and Grant Fuhr just waved a little bit and stick at Savard. Maybe the Hawks are going to try and get at Grant Fuhr that way.
Murray, who scored the Chicago goal, drives it in. Fogelin behind his back to Kevin Lowe. Ahead for Hunter. Hunter on the right side to Lindstrom. Lindstrom trying to go around Bergevin. Slides it out front, and it's deflected by Yaremchuk. Yaremchuk has his pass intercepted, but McCullough couldn't go anywhere with it, and back comes Daryl Sutter. Sutter was working against Kevin Lowe. He tried to center it, nobody in position. Now Lysiak with a long drive, knocked down in front by Kevin Lowe.
To this point, Kerry Fraser seems to be letting a lot of different holding and clutching, grabbing situations go. Both teams are starting to employ that tactic quite a bit.
A two-line pass produces the whistle with 4:23 left in the period.
Now there's Kerry Fraser, considered to be one of the best officials in the National Hockey League. And one thing that he will do, as long as he has control of the game, he'll just let them go. But Murray Bannerman has been very busy as the Oilers have had some excellent shots against them. And here's an example of what takes place around that goal. Shot after shot. The concentration has to be tremendous.
Watch his left arm here. I believe a second later he ended up robbing Messier again, but Messier is dangerous with that wrist shot. He's so darn strong, and he can shoot it from that opposite wing. Boy, he's got the real quick shot.
Fired in wide of the net. Huddy picks it up and tries to clear it, but it goes over the glass and out of play.
You know, you have to hand it to Bob Pulford. After that humiliating loss in Game 1, he called a team meeting for about an hour. He met with all the players. Everybody had an opportunity of voicing their opinion. What went wrong? Well, everything went wrong. But at least he asked all the players, give their opinion, how we're going to play the Oilers. But then Bob Pulford still has to make the final decision. But I think that's the way you get that team spirit going and get that togetherness that's so vital in the playoff series.
Well, when you have to stand up and state your mind in front of everybody else, it's pretty honest.
Bergevin with a shot. Fraser knocked it down in front and fired it into the pads of Grant Fuhr.
Grant Fuhr, who is feeling 100% as far as health goes. He played in all the games in the playoffs for the Edmonton Oilers. He again uses his quickness and is improving year by year in covering up rebounds. Here we can see the deflection, but watch how he moves across and he covers it up. Seems to pull the puck back into him. Covers it up. Good checking in front of the net, too. Now, Fraser had the scoring chance there. He's still playing in a lot of pain.
Yes, he is.
Still wearing that flak jacket, getting frozen up and trying to kill the pain as much as possible. Give him a lot of credit.
Puck goes back of the net. Picked up there by Huddy. Huddy is checked. Fraser has it. He centered it. Nobody in position. Patterson dumps it back in behind the goal. Huddy, who appears to be all over the ice tonight, fires it out to the center ice area.
What the Blackhawks are doing now is they're forcing the Oilers to fire that puck around the boards. And what a great opportunity for the Blackhawks defense to pinch in and perhaps break up a few plays. So I'm sure Bob Pulford will try to use that system as much as possible.
Some guys have it, some guys don't. You want to call it something? Call it the edge. Men in Speed Stick deodorant can give you the edge because it's the wide stick. It gives you man-sized odor protection all day that goes on dry in just a few strokes, which is why it's Canada's #1 deodorant. Some guys have it. Let the wide stick give you the edge. Speed Stick deodorant by Menon.
3:33, the time left in the first. The face-off to the right of Grant Fuhr. Messier will be facing off against Gardner. Anderson and Curry have scored for the Oilers, and Bob Murray has the Chicago goal. Jerome Dupont keeps it in. Now it's Charlie Huddy back in his own net. He has had an outstanding playoff series. For Paul Coffey to Curry. Curry trying to control it at the line. Finally has it poked away, and it's picked up by Gardner. On the wing for Troy Murray. Murray with a shot high and off the glass. Krushelnyski brings it out into the center ice area, having problems trying to get away from Olczyk. Then Paul Coffey comes back to pick up the loose puck. Coffey in across the line, lost control of it, and Gardner coming back for the Hawks, gains possession, unable to clear, but now it's picked up by Jack O'Callahan for Olczyk. Olczyk, the rookie, on the left side, too far for Murray, and the Blackhawks make a change. Coffey, rink wide pass for Curry. He dumps it in. Going to the corner after it is O'Callahan. Kept in at the line by Randy Glegg. A shot with Bannerman screen. He didn't see it, and it slid wide. Another drive knocked down in front, but a penalty, a slashing call is coming up against Chicago.
And it was great to watch that last shift as Troy Murray stayed on the ice as long as Wayne Gretzky did. Gretzky stays on for a long time generally. Troy Murray's line went off to make a line change. Murray stayed on the ice with Gretzky. Gretzky, at the end of his shift, started to hide behind the net. That's the only place he could get away from Murray.
Well, there's a penalty coming up to O'Callahan as they used a two-hander against Yari Curry, so the Oilers will have their second power play of the evening. It's a slashing call against O'Callahan.
Very important time of the period with just 2:18 left. Now, we were talking about Gretzky being shadowed. Watch Murray with him as Gretzky's trying to get in the open. He's not even near the puck. Murray's just staying right with him. That's a blanket job. That's at center ice. And all Gretzky does is sit back and watch what happens. And at the end of the shift, Gretzky trying to get away from Murray by hiding behind Murray Bannerman behind the goal. It was interesting to watch.
Well, what Gretzky will do then is if he has somebody shadowing him, he'll go and stand beside another Blackhawk. So now you got two guys watching.
Exactly.
And when Coffey sees that, there's the explosion to take place. But that's exactly what the LA King and Pat Quinn, the coach, did with Gretzky. They had Sykes following him wherever he went.
Kevin Lowe. Cross ice for Randy Gregg. Try and slide it in the corner for Mark Napier. Comes back to the line now. Gregg with a shot. Save. Napier to the side of the net to Messier. Messier was unable to get a shot away. Back to the point to Kevin Lowe. Lowe for Anderson. Back of the net. Messier and Bannerman battled for it. Bannerman took a swipe at it, but was unable to move it around the board. Messier looking, cross ice for Anderson. It bounced over his stick, back to the point for Lowe, and he fires it to the corner again with 1:17 left in the penalty. Mark Messier, back to Kevin Lowe. He winds up the save by Bannerman. Lowe gets it again, another shot at one. And finally, Gardner off the boards, clears it.
You know, all this took place because Ben Wilson had an opportunity to ice it. He was very nonchalant, and the Oilers intercepted and applied all that pressure. Boy, when you got the chance to shoot that puck down, you do it as hard as you can.
And let's talk about the style of Murray Bannerman. He just kicks that puck out. He's making what you could call kick saves in that goal. Watch how he moves out his stick and his left leg. See how he kicked that puck out of harm's way? That's a real good save in that situation. He knew Napier was coming in. The next one went wide, but he does that a lot, and I think his defensemen are aware of that fact, and I'm sure the Oilers are in the scouting reports. He kicked it back, and that time actually into traffic a little bit too, but that's the style of Murray Bannerman.
It's good as long as you kick and not miss, eh?
That's a good point.
Paul Coffey drives it in with 46 seconds remaining in the penalty, and then it's dumped down the ice by Chicago as we move into the final minute of this opening period with Edmonton in front of the Hawks by a score of 2-1. Here comes Gretzky leading the attack on the power play. He dumps it to the corner. Curry and Ludwig race in there. The Chicago player got to it first, and he comes back for the Hawks. A long shot that is deflected up against the glass. Curry chased back into his own zone with 14 seconds remaining in the penalty, 30 seconds in the period. Curry drops it at the line for Gretzky. Gretzky looking back to the point for Coffey. Now slides it in front, and Curry was looking for that deflection. The Blackhawks are back at full strength. In the center ice area with 10 seconds left in the period, Gardner in across the Edmonton line, waiting for Secord to catch up with the play. Now back to the line for Dupont. Dupont tried to center it, knocked down by Willie Lindstrom as the siren sounds to end period 1. And the score at the end of the first period is Edmonton 2, Chicago 1. Stay tuned for our first intermission.